Welcome to the Curly Hair Q&A show. I am your host, Ken Nichols, and I'm here with Melanie Nichols and a guest tonight. She is the founder of the Raw Curls. That screwed me up.
Oh, start over.
I'm going to start over.
Oh,
ready,
gosh,
Helen?
You forgot who I am
so
already.
we can. No, I didn't forget who you were. So Helen can snip this when she does the podcast after this.
Do over.
Which is what only thing that really matters anyway. Welcome to the Curly Hair Q&A show. I am your host, Ken Nichols, and I'm here with Melanie Nichols. She is the founder of the Raw Hair Organic Salon in beautiful Naples, Florida. It's one of the top curly hair salons in the country, and Melanie is one of the top curl and hair color experts anywhere in the world. She is also the founder of the Raw Curls brand of natural and organic curly hair products that can be found at rawhairorganics.com. So if you've been following along, this is episode number 227. Thanks for joining us tonight. And I'm here with Melanie, and I'm also here with a special guest, our friend Janet. We're going to talk to her tonight.
A very special show tonight.
Yes, we've got a lot to go over, and it's also a Ask Me Anything show, so I've got some Ask Me Anything questions, and they're kind of varied.
Okay.
They're kind of varied. It's interesting.
Always fun.
Yeah, it is kind of fun. And it's also
a perfect night for Janet to be here.
Perfect night for Janet. And it is also a Curl Crap giveaway show. We've got a couple of really crappy products to give away in our Curl Crap giveaway product. We are live streaming this show every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, as most of you know, on Facebook in the Curly Girls support group. Not tonight. The Curly Hair Q&A show group. Not tonight.
Oh, no.
No, we've got technical difficulties, and it's Facebook. It's not us.
Oh.
It's not our software
Dirty
for
rats.
a change. Yeah, it's theirs. That's why we've been talking. We've been really talking about. But you know where we are live on tonight without any problems?
YouTube.
As I remember, how many times have you heard me in the intro say, for your best user experience,
Yes.
go to YouTube? That's why.
I was telling Janet that before we came in. This is all like, I didn't even know Janet was coming, so it's been just really spontaneous, and that just added to the intensity of the situation. But
she'd have her own mic otherwise.
Yeah. But she was wondering how her family can see the show. So and I said, for your best viewing, you can go to YouTube.
Yes. Yes.
And we'll have to tell her how to do that, and her grandchildren.
Yeah. So nowhere on Facebook tonight. We made a couple of posts to make sure people knew that. Come and join us over here, or you can watch the replay. Usually tonight it'll be by 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So yeah, on YouTube, your best user experience, and in the future, probably between that and Instagram, probably going to be our only live streams on the Curly Hair Q&A Show YouTube channel. On Instagram at Raw Curls, as usual, you guys are here, and you know what? Here's a fun fact.
Oh boy!
Just in the last couple of minutes. One of the things that we had an issue with a year and a half ago when we stopped running the Instagram feed through our software, so they got the real video and the real, I think I found it.
Oh, well, there you go.
I was trying to solve another problem, and I think I found the other problem.
There you go.
Yeah,
See?
so Instagram, your viewing and listening experience may get better. You may not have to look at the picture and half of our paparazzi background like you have in the past. So, as I've also been saying, we may be also pushing a lot towards our podcast. Janet, you might not know this. We are a 2019 and 2021 award-winning podcast. We were ranked the #2 hair industry podcast that you must listen to and subscribe to in 2019 and 2021. Isn't that interesting?
Very interesting.
See, and yours, yeah. You see, I look at what it takes to put this all together, and I think, God, this is I would never want to have like a radio station or a TV station or whatever, but for all the mess and disaster it takes to put this thing on, we won awards.
Wow.
Believe
it or not.
See, that goes to show you just how terrible you can be and still be the best.
I know how good you and Melanie are.
Kind of like the Buccaneers. Kind of like the Buccaneers, Janet.
I'm not surprised.
You know how terrible they were, right?
I'm not surprised one bit what you and Melanie could do and have achieved in the 10 years.
Janet has seen it all. You've known us
let
at
me
least
introduce.
15 years, probably, right?
Well, yeah.
Gotta
So
be.
let me do a little introduction, and then
She's
she
seen
can
it all.
talk about that. Yeah. So
man.
this is our friend Janet, as you've heard, and she's just surprised me yesterday by calling and saying she's in town. She used to live here in the Naples, Bonita Springs area, and we became friends, which I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But then she moved to Massachusetts.
God forbid.
So I haven't
Chasing her boyfriend, but he left.
Oh gosh, well, I haven't seen her in years now, and so surprise visit. And I said, hey, why don't you come and be on the show, because you are a curly girl as well, so it'll be fun. And this is totally spontaneous. She didn't even have any idea what was happening, but here we are. So how I met Janet is an interesting story, because when I first moved to Naples 17 years ago, what is it? Yeah, is that right?
It's got to be at least, yeah.
I thought, anyway, I was looking for a job in a salon, and I went for an interview at a salon in town, a high-end place that I thought I might want to work. And I wanted to shadow for the day. I wanted to, after we had interviewed, I wanted to see what they were all about, spend time there, check out their clientele, just get the feel of the salon. And Miss Janet happened to be one of the clients, and I was standing there, and we just started talking and hitting it off, and we've become friends ever since. Right, Janet?
Yes. And it's been a wonderful friendship.
Yeah.
And I've certainly today am amazed sitting here in the studio from where we were 17 years ago in a salon having my hair done.
Yeah.
And then one day even having to go to the airport with a sign that says Nichols because Ken was flying in from Wisconsin.
That's right.
We didn't even know each other. And Melanie
That's
said, just
right.
go to the airport
Right.
with this sign and you'll pick up Ken.
Yeah. See,
So that is our beginning. And
That's
today
right.
I sit here and I am amazed.
You know what you don't know? This isn't even our big warehouse. Our big warehouse is 127,000 square feet.
Oh, well,
This
I
is our crappy disaster where everything kind of
I am
comes
just
together. Place.
amazed.
So Janet, talk about, we said, Janet has known us obviously then since before we became our own, corporation.
Yeah.
So, right, you've seen the growth from before the beginning is what you said.
Yeah. So wait. I want to take a step back on this. So the story that they just told about her picking me up at the airport, because there was a period of time here when we were just here part time, and then we decided to move here, to Naples full time, but I couldn't. So I was commuting. What, every week or every other week or something like that? Every other week. And I would come in on Fridays, right? I'd come in on Fridays, and then I would fly out late Sunday night, like on the late night flight. And I would do that every other week. So, we didn't talk about, obviously, we didn't have any time to talk about this beforehand, so I haven't thought about this in years. But if I'm not mistaken, did she know us before I got sick? Was I sick when you met me or already? Do you remember?
Yeah.
I must have been, hey? Must have just got sick.
Just happened.
So you were here for all the fun. You got to see it all.
Just
It wasn't any fun.
Yeah.
I don't really recall because we were just meeting each other, and you don't talk about that the first.
Yeah, it had to be
opening line.
Right.
It was just a very beginning.
Yeah, it must have been right about
very
that.
beginning.
So talk about how you before we got up and running, Janet and I were just reminiscing about how, she has seen us grow and from salon to salon and then owning my own place and all that. So why don't you share a little bit about that? And then your curly hair journey, because you've had curly hair for a long, long time, Janet. I won't say how long, but she has been a curly girl before it was cool, for sure. And, so just tell us a little bit about that. Some of your favorites. You've had a million different styles since I've known you, a million different colors. So let's hear what it's been like to have curly hair.
Well, obviously, I'm a older lady.
29.
And yes, I've had curly hair my whole life. My father had strawberry blonde hair, and I didn't get strawberry blonde, but I got like a light sandy brown hair. And I've loved it. When I was 5, I had baloney curls. And then when I was 14, the style was a DA, if you can believe that. So all my hair was cut off into a DA. And that was long before you were even born. And then I've just enjoyed my curly hair through all the different lengths. Sometimes it was long, sometimes it was short like it is now. And now it's just kind of growing out. But I've enjoyed every stage of having curly hair. I'm not one of those people that wished it was straight. I've just enjoyed every phase of it. However, whatever haircut, whatever color, I've enjoyed them all.
Did any of your kids get your curls?
Yes.
Really?
I have 3 children, and actually, they're not they're not really curly, like frizzy curly or that kind of curl. Just kind of naturally curly.
Kind of wavy?
Wavy, just wavy curly, manageable. Just to enjoy.
Yeah.
Just to enjoy.
Neat.
Yeah.
So Janet really likes to have low maintenance hair. She does not like to use a lot of product. And in fact, that's what we were talking about before we came here. She doesn't really put a lot in her hair. She just likes to be free and wild, if I'm not mistaken. Yes?
Yes, I don't use any hairspray. I use a good shampoo and conditioner. And at times I use oil for my hair, for my scalp, if I feel it itchy sometimes. I use oil to treat my scalp. And sometimes if it's seems a little frizzy or long or needs a haircut, those ends, I tend to put some on my finger and just work it in my end so it doesn't get frizzy. But of course, being at Melanie's shop and seeing all the products that she has, today I actually picked up a bottle of something. I said, "Oh, Melanie," I said, "sometime my scalp is itchy." And she said, "Well, that's good for that." So I said, "Oh," so I picked up a bottle. And so I'm excited about that. Other than that, I use olive oil.
You're fired. Take the mic away.
Italian,
Get her. That's
Okay,
enough. All right.
cutting her off.
Helen,
Cutting
come
her
and get her,
off.
please.
No. Well, and for all of you people that always think, that we are just all about pushing our products and, to be, Janet hasn't been one that's been using all my products, and that's okay. We're still friends. I still love her, and, we're good friends. I'm okay with that, and see, now today she came to the salon and saw those amazing products and was drawn to them, of course, and she'll be addicted in no time. I just know it. But, And
which means we'll see her more because she'll have to fly down.
That's
again.
right. But also, I mean, I have friends, believe it or not, that I don't do their hair. I really haven't done Janet's hair because, like we said at the very beginning, I met her in another salon and she was happy there.
Yeah.
And she's still friends with that person that's been doing her hair all this time. So, you know, that's okay. I'm very okay with that. I don't feel offended. I'm not hurt. I just, you know, want her to, you know, be happy and I don't have a problem with that, you know. So if someone's happy with their products and their haircut and what they're doing, their routine and their hair, that's great. I'm happy for them. You know, no need for change. It's when people have problems and issues and they're struggling, that's when, you know, I jump in or, you know, I say you need to make a change if there's an issue. So,
But Melanie, don't forget, I knew you. I've been gone for years, and you didn't have all these products. You were
No,
a
you didn't.
hairdresser when I lived here. I have to explain. I moved from Naples to Boynton Beach, and we lived over there for about 3 years, and then I lost
That's
my
it?
husband.
That's it. It was only 3 years. It seemed like forever.
Well, we lived there 3 years, and I lost my husband there. So then I did stay for a while because we had property, and I had to settle, you know, death issues and things like that. And then subsequently, I moved back to Massachusetts because I have family, my children, my grandchildren were starting to get to an age where they were actually real people. They graduated from college, and so I wanted to be back home with my family. And we have been staying friends, so we've known each other a long time, but not strictly from down here in business, Ken.
Yeah.
We've been friends.
I know.
I didn't have access to even knowing this. You were a hairdresser at the time, starting this.
Yeah.
And now look at you. That's why I'm amazed, because I have never seen your warehouse.
Yeah.
You know, it was in your garage at the time.
Yeah.
So
It sure was.
that's why it's amazing. I've seen these kids
Yeah.
go from nothing, go from working in a salon, Ken not even working, managing property.
Yeah. I was doing the property
You
management stuff. And
right?
when I felt good enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
She said we're not quite Amazon yet, but we're
Not
working
quite.
on it.
I said this,
Not quite.
I did. I said your
quite.
warehouse is
Yeah,
on the way.
not
On
quite.
the way.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this. You know, I remember, you like, you know, when we moved here full time. Yeah, you were like one of our first real friends.
She was my first friend.
Yeah.
She
That's how long
and
it's been.
Yeah, I didn't try to steal her from the salon and say, "Hey, I've got to do hair." That was my point. It's not like, you know, I pushed my services or my products on her. We just became she reached out to me and we became friends, and it's been a wonderful journey.
Yeah.
And also, too, Melanie, having naturally curly hair, I really never had my hair done. You know, I went to get a haircut. That was my first time going to the hairdresser, was to get a haircut, because I moved from Massachusetts, and it was hot here. You know, August, we moved here in July, so it was hot. So from moving and fixing up a condo and all that, then I needed a haircut, and that was how I actually just picked a salon to go to. But I'm one that doesn't have my hair done all the time, so I enjoy my naturally curly hair.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
I mean.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't specialize in curls back then.
Yeah, you were hair color.
Yeah, I was more
was a
hair
hair
color
color.
and cutting.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so it's been an interesting journey. How
Well,
we
so much for
transitioned.
all these Ask Me Anything questions
okay.
I've got, because we just gave you a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff that you didn't know about us. But.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
true. But we can get to the Ask Me Anything questions.
All
Was
right,
there
we'll do
anything
that.
else that you wanted to go over with Janet? or-
No, let's get into some questions. Let's
Okay.
rattle them off. As I was saying before, we as an award-winning podcast, you can listen to this episode and all of our 300-400 previous episodes and question of the days wherever you consume podcasts, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Podcast Addict, Podbean, and SoundCloud. We are everywhere you could imagine.
You can't escape us.
Yes. Yep. Yep. We're in over 20 countries worldwide. So anyway, all right. So let's get into some questions. So we'll do a couple curly hair questions. Then we'll get into some Ask Me Anything questions, and then we'll do some Curl Crap giveaway questions as well, and we'll go from there. So Melanie, I've been embracing my grays, and I'm about completely gray. Based on the little I know, I think I need more moisture, less protein. My curls are dry and brittle recently. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. For sure, gray hair typically has a drier texture to it. So a lot of times you do have to transition into using something more moisturizing, whether that's, just changing to a different moisturizing cleanser and conditioner or adding a deep conditioning mask, something like that. And a lot of times, when you're getting your hair colored, that believe it or not, many times, like the color that I use, it conditions the hair. It coats it, it seals the cuticle down, so it makes it feel more healthy and soft and sleek and shiny. So when you get that naturally gray hair coming in, it's a totally different ballgame, and you have to change up your routine.
Yeah.
And your product.
So she's saying that she's almost completely gray now, and I know that most people know who've done this that it does have a different texture when it comes in that way. Do you think possibly she is confusing dry and brittle with that natural texture of the gray hair with no pigment? Or no? Or am I reaching?
Yeah, it kind of, I don't know about brittle. Dry I can see, brittle not so much, because typically gray hair is quite strong. It's very more coarse. It doesn't, like if you do I like to do the stretch test for porosity. So, and a lot of times the gray hair, again, is going to be lacking that moisture. So it's almost like it doesn't stretch because it needs that hydration. So it's usually stronger, not really more brittle. So dry, yes, brittle, no. I'm not sure, maybe she's getting a little confused with that and just lumping it all together.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. All right. Melanie. All right, this is funny. Melanie, which Uncle Funky's Daughter product did you try from your Mother's Day starter kit?
Oh, gosh. It was a curl cream.
What'd you think of it?
I liked it.
And you liked it.
I did actually like it. At first, I thought it was the weirdest texture because it was kind of like a combination between a gel and a cream, and it felt slimy. And I thought, oh, this is going to be, a disaster. But it did set up real nicely. I got a nice curl from it, and I liked it, I have to say.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right, good. Melanie, what is your curl type? Mine is similar to yours, and I'm not sure what products to purchase. Mine is low density, curls more at the bottoms than at the root. Transitioning to silver with no dye for 18 months at the moment. Swavy or curly product? What are your thoughts? Boy, a lot of great questions. Already.
Yeah. So I use the regular raw curls. I don't use the wavy swavy. I feel like that's too light, not enough moisture. So I would recommend that for you as well. My curl type is a 2C3A. So typically we have, a mix of curls on our head, which I do. So then you do as well. But you have to go by the hydration in your hair. How dry is it? How, is it lacking moisture, or is it more low density, which would need, more protein and not as much moisture, a lighter conditioner, a lighter cleanser. So a lot of times, I still use the regular raw curls. And even if sometimes I mix and match, like I'll use the, if someone's kind of borderline, I'll use the raw curls cleanser with the wavy swavy conditioner, because that one's going to be lighter, and I don't feel like any of them, I hate to use those words because none of our products are really heavy. I don't feel like they really weigh the hair down because they penetrate into the inside of the hair. They don't just coat the hair, but it's all about how much hydration are you going to get. So, and moisture. So, if you, typically, I need more moisture, and because my hair is so long, I don't know the length of this person's hair, but if it's similar to mine, I would tend to lean towards the regular Raw Curls cleanser and conditioner.
Okay. All right, good. Let's do an Ask Me Anything question.
Oh.
The first one I've got is for both of us.
Oh.
Do you guys have any famous or celebrity clients or customers that you can reveal?
Oh.
I don't think I'd reveal, and it depends what you consider.
You don't have any
Oh yeah, I do.
clients?
I have customers.
Customers.
Well, we have.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
we have them with the products too.
Right.
I see every order
Actually,
that comes through. I know.
can think of one.
I can think of a couple.
Mm.
Yeah, it depends what you consider celebrity and what you.
Well,
would
there's that
consider.
rapper guy.
Yep, and I've shared that before, so we can say that it's it is he buys a case of pomade at a time of this pomade we make. It's not the regular. It's not like the Raw Curls pomade.
That was a question. When are we going to have our pomade back?
This is a different one. It's a different hair thing, and when this is how unhip we are.
I'm hip. No. My client confirmed that I'm. Maybe you're not hip, but I am hip.
Melanie nor I knew who this guy was when this barber came to me. I'll tell you the story. So this barber came to me. We met him at a barbering battle where all these barbers get together.
It was like a barbering hair show.
Yeah, they do that, and they do all their crazy stuff and whatever, right? And we met
Lines
this guy
and designs.
there. Lines and designs of crazy stuff like that. Well,
they razored your eyebrows.
They razored my eyebrows freehand,
like
right on my lid,
blade razor,
on my lid.
It was crazy. Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, it was crazy.
It was awesome. His eyebrows never
We've
looked
learned that. We spent that whole
good.
day there. We're like, there's a lot of guys here are really talented, really talented. So we're at this thing, and there's a guy from New York City, barber, right? And blah, blah, blah. I met him. Months later, he calls me up, and he said, hey, he said, do you remember me? And tells me who he is. I said, yeah. He said, I had to think, I couldn't think of his name. He tells me, he said, I'm DJ Khaled's barber. And he said, I used some of your blank, 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 some stuff that I'd made. You might see it in the Organics line in the future, but it's hard to make. And he said he wants a case of it. And I'm like, oh, all right, right. I set him up and I set him the case and whatever. And I got off the phone with him and I'm like, I don't even know who that is, right? So I Googled
totally knew who that was.
You did not know who he was.
I Googled
him. I Googled him and I'm like, oh my God. And it sent me to YouTube. He's got videos with 12 million, 20 million, 30 million views.
Just like me.
Tons of songs, right? and I had to ask, I can't remember who it was, but I watched a few of the videos and I'm like, what does he really do?
Oh my gosh.
But he's famous. He's famous. A lot of people know him. But anyway, so DJ Khaled, he buys stuff from us. He actually, that barber showed me pictures of him cleaning up DJ Khaled on his private jet while they're flying.
Interesting.
That could be a little scary if it gets a little bumpy, hey? Especially if he's doing his eyelids.
Oh my God. For sure.
But anyway, yeah. So we have a couple that we could, so I reveal that one because I have in the past, so he does. Can you think of anybody else that would be? I've got a couple, but I don't know if I can. We have the wife of a recent former NASCAR champion. That's a funny. I'll tell you that quick story.
Oh gosh.
So Melanie and I get this vacation to go to Spain, and we go to Spain, and this is 2 years ago. We go to Spain, and we're on the bullet train going from. Do you remember where we're going from? What? From Madrid to something?
Madrid to Alicante.
Yeah. Okay. So we're on this bullet train for hours, right? Like 2-3 hours, something like that. We're on this bullet train, and there's nothing to do because it's really quiet, and you're just watching the world go by.
That was awesome.
200 miles an hour.
I love that train.
Yeah, I loved it too.
It was really smooth,
It's really smooth. It's really
quiet.
fast.
It was fast.
So anyway, I'm sitting there with nothing to do, and I just happen to grab my phone, and I start looking at some of the orders and stuff, coming through, and I saw a name. A unique name. And I'm like, that sounds familiar, right? And I looked at it, and I went to Google and I saw the address and I punched in the address and I'm like, oh my God, that's so-and-so. It's the wife of a very recent NASCAR champion. I won't tell you who, but you could probably guess. So anyway, so they're a
I'm
customer
sure
of ours.
you know, we have a huge audience of
Right.
NASCAR followers.
We actually do.
Oh,
We
okay.
actually do. We actually, you know what else we have? I can think of another one, but no, I can think of two more. We have, I won't mention the name, but we have a Raw Curls client. For those of you who watch CNN, we have a on-air personality at CNN who buys lots of Raw Curls products from us, has them shipped to CNN's headquarters. Her address there.
What is this product?
I won't tell you her name. She buys a lot of our Raw
Yeah,
Curl
our
stuff.
curly hair
Our curly hair
products.
stuff. I don't watch CNN, so I don't know.
I do.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know, but so you would probably guess. But she buys a lot of stuff. She has for a number of years. She buys a bunch of stuff from it. Another one that I probably won't mention that has in the past. I won't mention it. Here, this will be kind of a fun fact trivia thing, and I will not tell you if you're right or not. But if you are of an age of like Melanie and I, and you are into the music of that time frame at that time frame or at that period, you'll know. But we've got a customer that buys products from us every now and then. A unique last name. Here's the only hint that's a hint.
Are you talking about the 80s?
No, yes. Here's the only hint I'll give you. Well, 80s and 90s, really, now that I think of it. White guitar. That's all I'll tell you.
Ooh, white guitar.
Somebody will figure it out.
Okay.
Somebody will figure that out. But
I
anyway,
have no clue.
so do you anybody else that you can think of? Anybody?
For me, I just have more local celebrities. I haven't had any really, really big name people.
Well, well, I know. Oh no, she's not.
I've reached out to some, but no one's coming to the salon yet. I think when they come to Naples, they're very low key, and they probably have had their hair done in LA or wherever else they are. I don't know. And besides, I'm booked out like 6 months, so it would be hard to get in. Although I probably, knowing me, would, maybe work on a Sunday or Monday or something.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon down here where we live. It's different than like the East Coast, like Miami and all that, where people go there because they want you to know who they are. They come here and act like everybody else,
they
right, Janet?
Blend
When
in.
you say that's the case, they're different. They want to blend in.
Yeah, it's totally different on this coast. Yeah, so I have a lot of local celebrities.
Yeah, I went to a breakfast, like a men's breakfast thing at a church in Bonita Springs years ago when we were still living in Bonita or Naples back then, and I didn't know it was a guy just in shorts and whatever, just like a regular any old guy on a Saturday morning, and I found out later that he was the retired CEO of Daimler Chrysler. That's how it is down here. You don't know.
Yeah.
They're all around you. You just don't know who they are.
I have a lot of
unless you know who they are.
I have a lot of the Hollywood lookalikes, though. Remember, I shared those. Yeah, like
That
I have all the
doesn't count.
doubles.
That's like the wax museum.
Oh
That
my
doesn't
god,
count.
it counts. It counts. Everyone, Rob looks just like Ralph Macchio.
That doesn't count.
Oh my gosh, I
It
have a client
doesn't
who looks
count.
just like Bradley Cooper. Hello.
It doesn't count.
It counts. Okay. What, Janet? You were gonna say something?
It's just more cultural on this coastline. People hear a famous, Richard Famous, but not for movie star status.
Right,
It's
right.
not singers don't
Right.
thrive. This isn't South Beach.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
don't. They,
it's-
they want to blend
it's
in.
over.
Yeah.
This comes from the Midwest. This is
Yeah.
real people, real celebrities, not stars. This is not a place for stars over here.
Right.
They're
Was
they're,
it-
they're
hey,
big. They're big. They're arts and crafts and cultural and this coastline.
Right.
I just thought of something. Speaking of which, like the Publix you used to work at is the one Shania Twain used to go to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
Ah, did you ever see her?
And she just
Yeah.
just
I
walks
worked
in
at
like
the Publix at 41 and Bonita
Beach Road. Yeah.
And when we had hurricanes,
That was her Publix.
Hurricanes in was it 03 and 04 and
Yeah.
05 when we had those big hurricane Charlie and all them.
Yeah.
And they told me my job today is just stand in front of Publix and greet the people that come in. Come for coffee, come for use the restrooms because the beach was all wiped out.
Yeah.
And people were out of homes. And
I remember that.
Publix just wanted them to feel like they were comfortable coming to Publix and have coffee.
Yep.
And we welcome them.
World's greatest grocery store chain by far, without a doubt.
Well, that's cool.
So there's your
even Janet knows famous people. Look at that.
There's your fun fact. Janet knows everybody.
Yeah.
Janet knows Larry
She
Bird.
loved that job. I remember
Janet knows Larry Bird, but her boyfriend Tom Brady moved to Tampa. I thought for sure you were going to call us and say, "I'm moving to Tampa."
She was looking at a Buccaneer shirt before we started the show.
I'm shocked. Melanie, how do you travel with a diffuser? That's a good question.
Ooh, that is a good question.
Short and sweet.
Yes, depending on where I'm going, is going to make the determining factor of which diffuser I take.
Did you have one last week? Did you bring one with us?
I did.
I don't remember.
I brought one, yes, which we have pictures of us on the road, because we have a different mode of transportation now. So if we're in the curl bus, which, Helen, you want to bring up the picture of me with my, that one. I ran into a client while we were out of town. That's Miss Robin. And
how funny is that? Did you tell Janet about that?
No, I didn't.
This
yeah,
is
it was so weird. So last minute we had a change of plans and we ended up in Waynesville, North Carolina. And
on a fluke.
Yeah, it was just like
complete fluke.
Yeah, like really last minute. And Ken had some friends there from his car club. And he contacted them to
ask how to get there.
To ask about the area. And they're like, we're here. So we're like, well, we're coming. So it was just crazy, kind of like today. And,
Yeah.
So we went there and then we stayed for 2 nights and we were leaving. We literally were like pulling out of the campground. And I said, hey, my client Robin bought a place in North Carolina. I wonder, I figured she was maybe there, but I had no idea where in North Carolina it was.
Yeah, and I said, that's a big state. They're not going to be here.
So I quick sent her a text. It was on a Sunday, and I said, hey, are you in North Carolina? And what town or city are you in? Because we're in Waynesville. And she texted me back, and she's like, oh, my God, that's where we live.
This little town.
Yeah, she was like 8 minutes from where we were staying at this campground. And so we're literally pulling out. And she's like, we got to get together and have lunch or something.
But first, Melanie has to sprint across the freeway to go get some fudge out of
Toffee.
some woman's house. Toffee out of some woman's house on the side of the road.
Way to throw me under the bus, literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
You could have been.
I know. I did. I was like, stop the bus. There's a sign outside in this lady's yard that says toffee, and I want to go see what it's all about. So
like
he
next
did.
To a cornfield
he pulls over, and I run across 4 lanes of highway.
Yep.
It was like jogging, running across yards.
Well, they say elbows and assholes.
And it was so worth it. It was amazing. So yeah, this woman makes homemade toffee out of her home, and there was like 20 different flavors, and it was just awesome. So I got my toffee and I was happy. And then we went to meet with Robin, and there she is. And she will be horrified that we're sharing this picture because she was embarrassed later and sent me a text saying, I was so embarrassed that my hair looked so awful when I saw you. People feel like that. We're camping. I said, well, my hair's a hot mess. Look at it. It's in a braid, and it
my hair looked great, Janet.
Of course it
not
did.
a hair out of place.
Of course it did.
Rick Astley
and that was after my mad dash across the highway.
That was after.
Yeah. I was not looking at anyone's hair. We were just enjoying running into each other and seeing their beautiful home in North Carolina. And it was fun. And we met her. Murphy made a new friend. So you can bring up the picture of Moab. Miss Helen. There's Moab. I forgot to take a picture of them together, but he's is a big. Giant schnoodle, a giant schnauzer and poodle.
Yeah.
And there can people. There's me with Murphy in the bus. Yep. So she loves it. There she is. She loves riding in the RV.
She loves riding it.
Yep. So anyway, that's a long answer to diffuser. So depending on our mode of or how I'm traveling, like in the bus, I actually did take my big Mac Daddy CIC Beauty diffuser because it's my favorite, and we were planning on doing some hair. So we were trying to do some on the go, on the fly, curly cuts and anyway. And so I did bring all of my equipment with me.
We got the sink, we got everything.
We got a portable sink, and yeah, it was and it's going to be a lot of fun. But we didn't end up having time to do that. So maybe the next trip. Now we're getting a little more prepared.
Yeah, we didn't
organized.
We learned about days, and we didn't have enough days.
It was just so last minute, but so if I'm going to like Spain, I don't believe I even took a diffuser. Maybe I had my little hot sock. Yeah, so depending, like if I'm going, somewhere really far and how much room I have in my suitcase, which Janet and I were talking about earlier, I might just take a hot sock with me, and I might just let my hair air dry most of the time. Today, my hair air dried. If I'm going to my mother's, I don't take one because she has one there. I got her just one of those collapsible diffusers. So it all just depends on, the situation, and I just go with the flow. That's what you have to do, right?
Yeah, there you go.
One little trick I learned about diffusers and when I had long, naturally curly hair was you take a nylon stocking and put it over your hair dryer.
That's just like the hot sock.
That's a DIY diffuser. DIY. Do it yourself. DIY.
Same thing.
There you go.
You don't have to carry a diffuser. You just take a nylon stocking.
There you go.
Hey, there you go. So, hey, that's easy and cheap.
There's your fun fact from Janet.
All right, way to go, Janet.
All right.
See, we're even learning from her.
Yes, we are. Okay. All right. Before we get to another question, let's do another Ask Me Anything.
Okay.
This is to both of us. Interesting. Melanie and Ken, have either of you ever been to a rave back in your younger days?
A rave, is that like a party?
Yeah, kind of.
Is that like with the mosh pit and stuff?
Like that, yeah.
No. As you can see from my not sure of understanding of what it is, no. Ken is giving a look like I think he's been to one.
I have twice.
Oh.
Twice.
Mm. No, I was a good girl. I didn't really party and drink.
Well, let me tell you. I'll just tell you about the first time. So first time I went to it twice. That was it. It was a complete accident. I was down in this
accident. How is that an accident? I can't wait to hear this. I just accidentally showed up at a rave party.
Yes.
Okay.
It's how it happened. It's really how it played out. So,
that's how people get pregnant too.
not this night. No, not this night. So there's an area where we're from that a lot of people when they're younger, like we were, would go out Walker's Point.
Oh.
So I'm down at Walker's Point, right? And I'm leaving. It's kind of an older area that's got some clubs in it, but it's
like
older.
old warehouses that they turned into like bars and clubs and stuff, which is cool.
It is. So I'm leaving. I'm walking back to my car. Of course, I'm walking back to by myself, and you can't park anywhere close, right? And I'm walking.
Where were your friends?
Per usual, I had to leave early because I had to work on Saturday, unlike everybody else who had a normal job, right?
Okay.
I'm trying to be a millionaire, right? So I'm leaving at like 1, right? Anyway, so I'm walking back to my car and I see a bunch of people standing like kind of on a corner, but not where there's a bus stop, kind of like
those are called prostitutes.
On a weird. No, it was. You know what it was? And this is why it was funny. I can picture this in my head like it just happened. It's not prostitutes, but it's weird people. It's weird looking people, right? And some, and I'm walking past there and whatever, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And I see somebody that I know in standing with this, and I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, we're going to a rave, and I'm like, why are you here? It's 1:00 in the morning. Why are you here? And they're like, well, it's how it worked. I didn't know. This would have been about 89, 90. And I said, this is how it works. Is you find out about it. Somebody's going to throw it in one of these warehouses. My friend Bobby Smith owns him and his dad.
So it's like a secret?
Yes, because they don't want to get busted.
Oh. So why was it like something that would get busted?
Because they do it in, they throw these in. There's usually lots and lots of people.
Oh, so it's like overcapacity.
Way over capacity.
I'm trying to figure out why it's like illegal kind of thing.
It's just thrown. So you'd get these, people that would throw these parties, and what they would do is they would throw out flyers like the night of,
like a flash sale.
like a flash sale.
It's
Sound
a
familiar,
flash
guys? Yeah,
rave party.
all the people who are way younger than us are rolling their eyes at me, right? Like, no, like, but no, but this is like when this first kind of started. Now I know it's really popular, but so he told me, he's like, yeah, they hand out a thing, and they don't tell you where it is, and they tell you where the spots you're going to wait. You call a number, they say right here or whatever, different spots, and they come and they pick people up and they take them to a warehouse or a building or something. And when they pick you up, and this is what happened. So he's telling me about this, and he's like, yeah, it's all the the dance and techno music that you don't hear in the clubs is at these things. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, so
Ken was in,
right? So I'm in, right? I'm in because I'm into all that oddball stuff.
He
right?
said, forget getting up early to go to work.
Oh, I still
going
went.
to the
I still went.
Rave.
So here's where it gets better. So it gets better. So then he tells me. So I like I said, I had no clue. So he tells me this. So I'm like, oh, awesome. And he said, and there's no alcohol or anything there, and it's $20. You got to have $20 cash.
There's no drinking.
I'm like, so 1989, 1990. I'm like, $20. I'm going home.
You still would say that.
You would not go. Even it could be the coolest thing ever, and you tell Melanie, but it's $20. You're like, nah. But anyway, for sure. Don't even act like you wouldn't. But anyway, so he's like, it's $20. I'm like, and there's no alcohol or anything. Like, what do you get? He's like, you get to go in this because they DJ the thing and whatever. I had to. I'm like, I got to see this, right? I got to see this.
You had the $20.
I'm shocked I had the $20.
Me too.
So I had it. So anyway, so I went, right? They came, sure. They picked us up. It was like a van or something. And they picked up all these people.
That's
and we were
crazy.
all crammed in there, right? And they take us to one of the warehouses down in Walker's Point area and walk through a bunch of these things. And all of it, you can start hearing it, and it's away from all the houses. Right. And you go in there and yeah, sure enough, it's all it is people jammed in there and everybody's dancing by themselves. So it was really weird to me at first, but I got it after a while, so they don't allow smoking. They had no alcohol.
Sounds perfect for me.
Well, yeah.
Dancing, no alcohol, no smoking.
No smoking, right.
I should have been at these rave parties.
Well, there were plenty of people that were there. They were on something. A lot of them. They were on something. But it's a lot of that 60s crazy lights and stuff like that.
I bet Jan has been to some of these
like
rave
that kind
parties.
of stuff. Right. Probably. But anyway, so and loud as you can imagine, but really I thought it was like one of the neatest things I'd ever seen.
How long did you stay?
Maybe an hour, and I had to walk back to my car.
Oh my God.
Because they're not hauling anybody back until it's over.
Right. They're like, you just can walk yourself back.
Yeah, and they didn't have a set time, but the guy that
until it got busted.
Knew, yeah, until the cops figured out where it was and they were going to bust it, or 7 o'clock, whichever came first.
So tell us, did you have your mullet then?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I did.
Oh, he was rocking a big bad mullet.
I'm sure I did. Maybe not. Now that I think of it, maybe not. But yeah. So I've actually So I went to one after that. They're neat. Weird. Would I go to one now? But,
no, you're too old.
But nobody. I don't remember it all being really young people either. It was a real. That's why I thought it was really neat because it was a real mix of everybody. And nobody it wasn't like going to a club. It was like you're going here for the experience.
Did you
worth
ever hear
$20.
of a rave party, Janet?
Did you ever hear of a rave party?
Have you ever heard of a rave party?
No.
I bet your kids were there.
No.
I'll bet they were. Yeah, sure.
No.
Do we need to get them on the phone? Helen,
They just haven't told you
get
yet.
a Zoom call. Get their number out. All right. Let me ask a girl question.
Oh, yeah.
I believe we're talking about
They're
raves.
Ken's age.
You guys asked. You guys asked when I asked. Oh, if they're my age, yeah. Oh, yeah. Melanie, I am a foster mama, and I have 2B, 2C hair, and I have a foster daughter who's African American, and I've been working on her hair. I'm getting the hang of it some. I did notice she scratches her head a lot. I'm guessing it's dry. What can I put on her scalp to help?
Janet can answer this question.
I was just going to say.
What can she put on her scalp to help with dryness?
Right. Well, today when I stopped by Melanie's salon because we're going to leave my car rental there while we drove up here to the studio, to the warehouse, which I wasn't even aware of. And I had to leave my car someplace instead of 2 cars driving up from Naples to Cape Coral. So we were in the shop, and I'm looking around, and I was amazed. And then I picked up this bottle of oil, and that's, as I said earlier, I said, "Oh, Melanie, this is good because sometimes my head is itchy." And I bought it. It was only $20, and I said, "Wow, this is perfect."
Or you could have went to a rave.
No.
Okay. All right.
Listen, I was fortunate enough to live in the happy times of the 50s and the 60s, and those were good. That was like everybody loved everybody.
All right, so $20. So $20 for hair oil
hippies and everybody, but
oil.
it was all harmless. It was all harmless.
That's nice. Those sound like
famous last
the
words.
good old days, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, and oil. You know, there's lots of products for irritated scalp. Even within our regular Raw Curls products, we have ingredients that are for scalp issues, you know, things like eczema, psoriasis, you know, any like dermatitis kinds of issues. So that can already start the process. And then you can also, you know, take an oil if you, you know, so choose to try to massage that into your scalp. You know, that is definitely something that can be used for that. And then, you know, there's other products that I also recommend outside of our line. They're part of my hair loss and thinning hair business, and you know, there's different sprays and solutions that you can use for those. It depends on what's causing the problem. But did you say how old the girl was?
No, it must be a child, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I think with kids, you know, I'm learning more and more that they probably don't, and especially she's saying African American, you know, she's probably, it's a lot to wash her hair and that whole routine. So I think a lot of kids probably don't wash their hair as often, and they're running around and sweating and just being wild and crazy. But because I wouldn't think that it's like a hormonal issue or something. But, you know, you can get like a bacteria or fungus like a candida, you know, that's going to cause some itchiness. So it all depends on what the issue is. But, you know, those are some easy solutions, just trying, you know, product like the Raw Curls. And then, you know, within that line, we have our Shine Serum, which is 100% organic oils. And they're very, very healing. We have you know, a combination of calendula and tamanu and some other oils that are very healing, not only to the hair, to the skin.
Yeah, we're gonna do. We're gonna push the Curl Crap giveaway show till next.
That sounds good.
Yeah, and then I'll do 3 or 4 next week giveaways.
Okay.
So just because we had the technical issue, Facebook had the technical issue. It wasn't us. Melanie, do you have any other pictures? Anything you want to talk about? Go ahead and bring that up, and I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if you know about that.
Oh, I probably don't.
About that picture.
I probably don't. Okay, well.
Do you want to talk about it?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I just, you know, Helen was asking me for pictures, so I just sent her that because I was slacking. Sorry, you know, if I'm out of town and before I'm going out of town and when I get back from out of town, it's just insanity.
Right.
You know, I'm so busy, so booked. But this happened to be a new client that was scheduled to come in before she goes back to college. And so that was her first time getting a curly cut. And, you know, I remember to take before and after pictures, thank God, and do a video. I was seeing, you know, the transition of her hair. A lot of times that happens, you know. The first time I work on somebody's hair, I feel like, you know, I feel like I'm going to be able to bring out more curls and revive, you know, what they naturally have. But, you know, I mean, I'm just, you never know really until once they start getting in there and working on it and using the products and then styling it. So this was one of those cases where she came in and her hair was very flat and straight on top. You can see she had just a regular haircut. These pictures don't quite do justice to see that. Head on, would show better, but you can see shelfiness. It's choppy. So she's growing it out. She wants it to get longer, but there's that choppy, like you can see kind of like almost a C shape there, where like above her shoulder, like chin length, and then it just drops off to longer hair. Yeah, it was very choppy. It wasn't blended at all. It was supposed to be face framing. So that was kind of messed up. And this shows, what happens when people get a traditional haircut a lot of times with curly hair. It just isn't working. But she didn't want a lot of length cut off. So what we talked about is I'm just going to fix, tweak and fix things and work more on what I call the interior of the hair. I did fix the face framing so it would flow better and she could grow, but it actually makes it look longer. I was taking it from that flat mushroom shape where you get, the triangle, and then you can see the middle pictures really show that, the back of the head. So you take it from triangling out to going up and down, so it actually elongates the hair. And she was just blown away by how much curl we were able to get, throughout the lift, the curl, all the way to the root. And keep the length of her hair and just
If you want to see more of this, go to the Raw Curls Instagram page. Was that last night that you posted the video on this and whatever?
That was
or was it the
Sunday.
night before? Sunday, yesterday. That would have been yesterday because today is Monday.
Yeah.
That snippet video of that transformation that you posted on there. Has gotten the most views of anyone you've ever posted in a 24-hour period. Yeah.
Wow.
So worth taking a look at because obviously a lot of people shared it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I mean, it looks great, but I don't feel like it's been the most dramatic one that I've done.
No, it's not. That's why I thought it was really interesting.
That is interesting.
I looked at the views. I'm like, holy God.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, she was so happy. She loved it. So now she booked to come back during her Christmas break, and I'm going to be doing another cut, and I'm going to be doing her highlights for her.
All right, let's wrap it up with an Ask Me Anything question. This is an easy one for both Melanie and I.
Oh.
Melanie, chocolate or vanilla?
Oh my gosh, chocolate.
Okay, vanilla. But it's got to be good.
Are we talking about ice cream?
Yes, it's got to be good vanilla.
Yeah.
Good vanilla ice cream.
It's hard because I'm lactose intolerant, so but still chocolate. Yeah, I love my chocolate. The darker, the better. Janet, chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
She's a vanilla too. There you go.
Vanilla, nice and creamy vanilla.
Yeah, me too. But it's got to be good. It can't be the cheap garbage.
My favorite is maple walnut.
Oh, her maple walnut. Ken's favorite is pecan, butter pecan.
Butter pecan, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm a mint chip guy too, so But I like butter pecan. I love butter pecan. And I didn't as a kid.
Wow.
But vanilla, a really good vanilla is.
I do love vanilla, but if I really had to choose.
If you were on a deserted island.
You're from Wisconsin, isn't that cow country?
It is.
Of course, it's cow country.
Because then we would see. All right, Janet, because we're from Wisconsin, we shouldn't even be having this conversation about ice cream. We should be having custard. We should have
frozen custard is all.
You guys don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know frozen treats.
Wow.
We know frozen.
Culver's now. Culver's moved down here.
Yeah, and then Culver's moved down here. So
yeah.
now you guys know.
Frozen custard is the bomb.
Yeah, and that is funny because people that are not from like a dairy state like we are from up north, they talk about Culver's like they discovered America, and I'm like. I just laugh. It's funny, because they're like, oh, you wouldn't believe what they have.
They're like, you have to go to
custard.
Culver's.
You have to go there, and we're like,
we know
really?
we know the founders.
Really?
We know the
we
founders.
We do. They were one of they were one of back in our much younger days. We owned a racing team, and my driver was I believe he was sponsored by the first Culver's that opened.
Wow.
Yeah. And still is to this day.
Custard pie is my favorite.
Craig Culver, I believe.
Custard pie.
Craig
but
and his
like
wife. Can't think of her name.
Wow.
But anyway, they were from our area.
Ah.
The wife's she's retired philanthropist now.
We died for custard pie.
All right, that's it.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Helen will
Wisconsin
post
is
our
also
mailing address if you're going to send us some.
Wisconsin is also Milwaukee. We come from beer country,
Yeah.
but I would no, thank you. I know it's almost anti-Wisconsin or Milwaukee,
Sacrilege
but
is the word.
That's the word. That's the word. But I hate beer. Sorry.
Boy.
So there's a fun fact. I hate beer. I always did, always will. Not my deal.
I can't say that. Anyway, all right. Let's go.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Remember,
Sorry we were late, but it was worth the wait.
It was worth the wait.
Sorry we were late, but worth the wait.
Yes. Next week, episode 228, we'll do a bunch of Curl Crap giveaway stuff. We'll finish up with those questions, and by probably in about half an hour, we'll have the podcast up so you can check it out there or check it out on your way to work tomorrow morning. So have a great curl.
Thanks for joining us, Janet. Say bye.
Thank you.
Say bye.
You. It's my pleasure to be here. It was a nice surprise.
It was fun.
Good.
It was a nice surprise.
Wonderful. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great curly week. Bye.